Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look and see how we're able to create structures and templates in Liferay for the Livingston Hotels and Resorts. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off by removing this Hello World widget here off the page. So when we move our mouse cursor inside of it, let's select the Options button next to the header and then remove. So we're going to start clean, getting rid of everything off of the home page. Let's go ahead and open up the menu. We're going to head over to Site Builder, followed by Pages. From here, we're going to click on the configuration icon that's next to Public Pages. And then let's scroll down and we're looking for the logo section. It's down here towards the bottom. Once you find it, go ahead and expand it out. Let's change the logo. This is the default Liferay logo. Let's click Change. Let's click on the Select button. And we're no longer in exercise number 2. We're over here in exercise number 3. So make sure you have those downloaded. If you need to, feel free to pause the video. Once you have the Livingston logo in your sites, go ahead and click on it. Click Open, followed by Done. And then let's go ahead and save the changes we made here for our public pages. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to head over to the Content and Data section. We're still here on the same site, Livingston Hotels and Resorts. So under the Content section, let's head over to Web Content. Now that we're here in Web Content, let's click on the Structures tab up here towards the top, right next to Web Content and Templates. Now that we're here in Structures, you'll see the one that we imported. Let's go ahead and create a new one. Let's click on the plus button here on the right-hand side. We need to give this structure a name. We're going to call it News. So once you have News typed out, if you want to add a description, feel free to do so. Next thing we're going to do is add a few fields to our structure. So the first field we're going to add is a text field. So we'll add that onto that gray, dark gray palette. We're going to go ahead and add another text field right below the first one. We're going to add a date field right below the second text field. So a date field right below, like so. And then we're going to add an image field. So let's see if I can find image. There it is. Below the image field, we're going to add another text field. And lastly, we're going to add an HTML field at the very bottom. Very good. We're going to change the labels of each one of these fields starting from the top. So for the first text field, we'll go ahead and click Text. And then for field label, we'll double click it. And we're going to change it to Article Title. Once you have that typed out, go ahead and click Save. The next text field, we're going to call it Byline. Okay, so once you have that typed out, go ahead and click Save. For the date field, since this is going to be a news article, it would make sense for the label to be something like Posted On. We'll click Save. And then for the image, so double clicking Image, we'll change that to Story Image, like so. From here, I'll go ahead and click Save. Scrolling down, our next text field, we're going to change it to Lead. So selecting that text field, changing the label to Lead, and then Save. And then finally, the last field down here at the bottom for HTML, we'll change the field label to Content. And then let's click Save. On the right-hand side, we have a description box, allowing us to provide a description for our structure. So feel free to type one out. Anything will do. I'll type the one that's for our example. So used for content creators, adding news articles to the Livingston site, and then we'll have a period here at the end. There we go. Once you have everything typed out, let's go ahead and click the Save button up here at the top right-hand corner. So very good. We've seen how to create a structure, right? Structure helps us create content. Now let's go ahead and see how we're able to create a template. Now again, for the scope of this course, we're not going to go full-fledged into how to create the template itself. We'll go over some of the basics on getting it into the web content section. So right next to structures up here towards the top, we'll now select templates. Once we've selected templates, we'll go ahead and click on the plus button here on the right-hand side. And if we wanted to, we could create the template right here. We have some general variables, some utility classes that can help us out, and so on. In this example, we're going to bring in an already created free marker template for us. So clicking on the Browse button, we'll head over to our exercises if we're not there already, and we're going to be looking for that free marker template. It's going to be called newstemplate.ftl. And then once you have that selected, go ahead and click Save. Oh, before I can save though, we're going to need to add a name for the template. So the name of the template is going to be News. Now we're able to save it. Okay, very good. I'll give it a quick refresh. Now we can see the second template that's been brought in. We'll go through the import process and we'll bring in a few more structures and templates for us to use throughout our exercises. So let's head up to the options button for web content. So let's first click on the web content section. And once we do, we'll see the options button up here towards the top right next to our user icon. From here, let's go ahead and click on the Import tab. And once we click on the Import tab, we'll click on Select File. We're looking for the Structures and Templates LAR. Once you have that selected, go ahead and click Open. Once it's been brought in, go ahead and click Continue, followed by Import. We'll wait for the import process to finish. And once it's finished, we can go ahead and close out of the Export/Import window. So now that we've brought in specific structures and templates, let's go ahead and see one more time how we're able to bring in a template. So let's head over to the template section and we're going to go into the 4-image grid. From here, we're going to bring in a free marker template once again. So we'll scroll towards the bottom, click on the Browse button, and then we're going to be looking for the 4-image template. So for me, it's closer up here to the top. I'll go ahead and click Open, and then we'll click Save up here at the top right. Okay, I'll refresh the page just to see the changes applied. Very good. Now that we have structures, we have templates, let's go ahead and see them in action. So we'll head back over to the web content section up here towards the top. And once we do, let's create some new web content. Let's click on that blue plus button over here on the right-hand side. We'll select the 4-image grid. This is the structure that we brought in. So first and foremost, at the very top, I need to give this title. We'll call it Featured Hotels. For the actual title here, we'll call it Livingston Group Hotels. And again, if I'm going too fast or too slow, feel free to speed me up or slow me down. For the image, let's go ahead and click on the Select button. Clicking on Select File, we're going to be bringing in this one right here. Okay, and then click Add. Okay, we'll skip the image description, and then for text 1, we'll call this Playa Azul Hotel. Let's move on to the next image that we're going to be adding. So here on image 2, we'll click on the Select button, clicking on Select File. And then from here, the next image that we want to be adding is called Grand Livingston. So Grand Livingston, that's a JPEG file. We'll go ahead and click Open. It's a beautiful picture here. We'll go ahead and click Add. We'll leave the image description alone. And then for text 2, we'll call it Grand Livingston Hotel. 2 more images to go. So for image number 3, let's go ahead and click on that Select File. We're going to be selecting Iron Rose for image number 3. All right, another beautiful picture there. Go ahead and click Add once you're ready. And then for text number 3, we'll call this the Iron Rose. 1 more image to go. For image number 4, we'll click on the Select button, Select File. I think you have the hang of it. And the last one we're going to be adding is called Purple. Once we have purple selected, go ahead and click open. And I would call that blue, but let's go ahead and click add. And finally, for text number 4, this will be Purple Palace Hotel. Very good. Once you have that all finished up, we'll click publish up here at the top right. Last step we're going to be going through, now that we have our web content created using a specific structure and template, let's see what this looks like. So let's click on the Go to Site button up here. Once we're here on the site, let's click on the plus button or the add button up here at the top right. We'll expand the content section by clicking on it. And we're looking for the content called Feature Hotels, what we've just created. We can go ahead and add it onto the page like so. And there we go. Now if we want to go a little bit further, let's stylize this. So moving my mouse cursor into the web content display, we'll select the options button that corresponds with the web content display, followed by look and feel configuration. We're going to be removing the border and everything that's kind of associated with it. So under application decorators, we'll click on the drop down and we're going to select bare bone. Once you have that selected, go ahead and click save. Once you see the success message, let's go ahead and exit out of the look and feel configuration. And this is what our page will look like. So very good. You can see how using the structure made the content creation very straightforward. We didn't have to think about any sort of styling. We just followed the form or the fields that we needed to fill out. The template took care of the rest, styling it the way that we see here. So very good. This wraps it up for this video, and I will see you in the next video.